like a never-ending circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you owe the drug lords, then you got the folks that helped you, then you got. I mean, it's like. Yeah, that's a never-ending circle right there,
and
man.
this one agent Hernandez, he's like in the middle of all these like negotiations, like agents take like 3%. This dude is getting 5%. The cartel has negotiated him a 5% commission on your deal. Yeah, it's real talk. Like somebody's suing him. One of these players is suing him, man, and I can't remember who it is. But he's defending himself by saying, I was interviewed and chosen as the representation or as the agent, and it's like, all right, who interviewed you and who chose you? That's the question I got, but it'll come out. It'll come out. Yeah, dude, it's big, Rob, and like I said, I always, from just kind of learning in the business, you'll try to get ahead of things before people start talking about it, and not because I love to say I told you so, even though I do, but just because, I don't, if I can help it, I would prefer not to be like Mr. Reactionary. I like to be more proactive, make sure I do the research.
Yeah, but at some point, like for real, like, somebody, in some circle, I don't know whether it'd be like ESPN Outside the Lines or what's the show you like to watch on PBS?
Frontline.
Yeah, Frontline.
I don't watch Frontline, but what happens is, like, Frontline comes to me. Like, some sort of story will come up about the NCAA, and Frontline will done. So I now have to go look it up or something. Like, I don't even know what time Frontline comes on.
But I can just see this story at some point, being in the forefront. Because, again, like, everybody, still talking steroids, still talking, if the steroid era guys will ever go get in the Hall of Fame, then you got this never-ending saga. Every time a new commissioner comes in, Pete Rose is petitioning to, come back into the league. And so it's like it's always something else that keeps a story like this from coming to the forefront. But this is bigger than steroids. This is bigger than any scandal or anything that probably has ever happened in professional baseball. I mean, in professional sport. Where you're talking about, like, legitimate drug lords, drug dealers, actually, making a profit, off of these guys, because they, because they defected or because they helped them defect or whatnot. Like, that's criminal.
And here's the hypocrisy and all that. I know everyone has seen these commercials about, if you buy a dime bag of weed, you're like helping terrorism and all this kind of stuff. Okay, let's multiply that by like a couple of million. These dudes are getting 30% of a $60 million contract. That's like $18 million. You think you can't fund a drug war with $18 million? That's off one person. Get the hell out of here. So those are the layers that I'm talking about. Like, okay, we talk about baseball being complicit in human trafficking. That's one. But the people who are doing the trafficking are the people who are on the front lines of this quote-unquote fake drug war that America seems to be trying to fight. You know what I mean? And they want to tell you that, every time you buy a dime bag, you're supporting the bad guys. Well, every time you sign a Cuban, you're supporting them too. How about that?
Right.
How about that, baseball? Yeah, I told y'all, every time I try to like him, he does something stupid. And this is at the top of stupid. Because there's money involved. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money. There's a lot of talent involved. Like, these kids play baseball with with broomsticks and rocks from the time they're like 5 years old. So when they get 25, these dudes are ballers. And if you can get one or two of these dudes, it's rap. Like,
you can be good too. Yeah,
there's no extent that people won't go, especially in a sport like baseball where money is ever flowing. What's $68 million to some guys that paid $2 billion for the team in LA market with that TV deal? Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket. Trust me, and they're in LA too. So now you got your Hispanic population that's huge in LA. They on board. If they wasn't already, they can root for Olivero. They rooting for Puig Mania, all this kind of stuff. It's going digital. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Good for
and
them.
that's just the Dodgers. That doesn't even include with the Angels. I mean, because the Angels they got a nice little foreign. Yeah, they got a nice little foreign thing working over there for them as well.
Who, by the way, yeah, Pujols. I told you about Josh Hamilton, though, right? The whole
falling off the wagon with his wife.
With his wifey. That's a bad look.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be my rock, baby. We can't. Nah, it's too much to lose. Because now they talking about, Commissioner Manfred's in a tough position on how he's going to discipline Josh Hamilton. No, he ain't. It's 50 games. Run it. Go to rehab. Yeah. What you mean? It's cut and dry. 50 games. Run it. He failed. He failed the test. Let's go. Well, he didn't. He told on himself. Which, yeah. Guess what color people would never do that? I'm just gonna say it starts with B, ends with K, and there may be a lack in the middle. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's like the number one rule in being black, ain't it? Never tell on yourself. Never. Yeah. Sir, have you been drinking tonight? No.
Oh, yeah.
That's the white boy.
Right here in the last place, we got folks right here self-reporting themselves. Like, would nobody found out? You over here just self-reporting.
That's the white. The white boy would be like, well, I only had 2 beers. Whatever. Nope. Since you asking, I haven't drank anything, sir.
Anything.
Would you like to step out and take this field sobriety test? Again, no, I would not. Since you asking, what are you doing? Yeah, do your job, Flatfoot. Sorry, I respect the police. I'm sorry. But yeah, moving on from that. This is the Sports Kings podcast. I'm Big Mike. He's Rob Calloway. We're being heard via Spreaker.com, and we're online and in the social media realm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. We're also on email. SportsKingsLive@gmail.com is the address. If you guys know anybody or you yourself have a small business and would like to become a sponsor of the show, please send us an email or just email us your thoughts or what you think about the podcast so far. This is week number what, Rob? 3? Week number 3 or 4?
Oh, 4.
Wow.
This is number 4. Yeah.
4. What did I just get to talk about? The MLB and their holistic. And this story will probably mature a little bit more once because his story is nowhere. Just like the Abreu thing. I'm thinking I'm about to read this whole long article on Abreu, and it's just talking about how good a player he is. And like every time they get to the point about, how'd you get here? Moving on, moving on to his batting average. His slugging percentage or something crazy like that. But I understand.
Like with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow circumcised me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that'll be a drop. What time is it? Yeah, 37:46. Rob said Tim Tebow circumcised him. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the new intro. Believe that. In the world of the NFL, couple things. Look, like some things I missed yesterday, as a matter of fact. The fact that we talked about it 2 days ago that Phillip Rivers has chosen not to extend with the San Diego Chargers. On the opposite end of that, same draft, same position, the Giants have said, we won't extend Eli Manning past this year. So,
right. 2
different dudes, same story, just kind of like the opposite, the mirror images of the story to each other. One dude is choosing not to. The other dude, the team is like, not really sure about you anymore, Eli. Maybe we've gotten the best out of you that we're going to get. And I agree.
And that's wild, man. I mean, and the reason I say it's wild is because, like, Eli has never been Peyton. So let's not get that confused. All right, he's never been Peyton Manning. But the Giants have always, like, the years that they have won those Super Bowls, they've had a solid defense. They had some solid running backs. They've had some decent wide receivers. I mean, and they've had a whole lot of luck. And like I say, just kind of unbelievable. I mean, because in most cases, a guy like Eli Manning, I think, will be around. But maybe they know something that I don't know.
Sometimes it's time to move on, Elijah. An update to the Darren Huxtable saga, or sorry, Darren Sharper, former NFL safety, Darren Sharper. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Appearing in the Los Angeles Superior Court, Sharper entered a plea of no contest, the legal equivalent to a guilty plea of 2 counts of rape by use of drugs and 4 counts of furnishing controlled substances, the prescription sleep medication Zolpidem, sold under the brand name Ambien. If you want to see some funny stuff and hear some funny stuff,
that's what he was giving them.
Yeah, Google the stuff that happens to be like people have shown up at like McDonald's naked on Ambien and woke up the next morning and not remembered anything. So there's that. He's an awful human being. In Arizona, where Sharper was accused of drugging 3 suburban Phoenix women and raping 2 of them. How'd that happen? You drugged all 3 of them, and well, I don't know. I couldn't claim in no way to be able to rationalize any of this foolishness. And raping only 2 of them, in November of 2013, he pleaded guilty on Monday to 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of attempted sexual assault. He was immediately sentenced there to 9 years in prison with no eligibility for early release, according to prosecutors. Sharper was due to appear in court by video conference again on Tuesday in Las Vegas, where he has agreed to plead guilty to attempted sexual assault of 2 women he was accused of drugging and raping in January 2014. A prosecutor spokeswoman said the Nevada plea deal called for him to serve 3 to 8 years. Sharper has also been charged with sexually assaulting 2 women in his New Orleans apartment in September 2013. Sharper had reached a plea deal with prosecutors to settle the case, but Christopher Bowman, the assistant district attorney of Orleans Parish, was at no liberty to divulge the details. Here's the other thing about this whole thing: like the actual sentence in its totality is supposed to be like 20 years. He's gonna get like a year served time, and the first year he can come up for parole is 9 years. You ask me, how is that possible? Well, for whatever reason, he's going to be able to serve this sentence, all these sentences concurrently instead of consecutively, meaning they won't be added back to back to back. They'll all be clumped into one sentence. So in 9 years, Darren Sharper could be back in a minimum of 9 years. Darren Sharper can be back on the street.
The crazy part about it is that those charges in Vegas, those 2 charges in Vegas, look, dude, he faced up to life in prison on those cases.
He should have got it, too.
Just in Vegas.
Yeah, he should have got it. All of it. Every last. So unless Darren Sharper does us all a favor and like hangs himself in jail, you can look forward to seeing him somewhere on the streets somewhere next 9 years. Dude, here's something crazy too. That just before we started recording this, I saw this about Darren Sharper in the Hall of Fame.
Darren Sharper in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I said.
What?
That's what I said. Darren Sharper, Hall of Famer. He'll be up in 2016. He'll be on the ballot in 2016.
Absolutely not.
Tell me why.
I don't think you put him in.
Tell me why.
Not right now. I don't think you do that. I mean, what kind of message would that be sending? You know, if you enshrine this dude into the Pro Football Hall of Fame and he's sitting in prison.
Yeah, I mean, he won't be the first. He won't be the first Hall of Famer to go to prison.
But I'm saying, but he would actually be in prison when he would be selected. Now, OJ thing is completely different because OJ got that years ago, and he just went to jail about 3 years ago. So,
but in the same respect, OJ did what he did after his playing days was over. So did Darren Sharper.
Well, yeah, but I just don't think that you enshrine somebody while they're actually in prison. Like I said, I don't think that sends the right message. Now, and if it was ever a time that these women advocates would go get out here and rally and protest, I think that would definitely be it. Like, you don't honor a man that's sitting in prison for raping. I mean,
here's where the conundrum falls. And when I was reading this, I was all prepared to be exactly as you were. And by the time I got through reading, I was like, damn it, I agree. God, I can't believe. And I'm about to say this.
Let's see if you can get me on board.
Okay. Peter King's Monday Morning Quarterback, right? Peter King actually addressed this issue last month, in February, as a matter of fact, about Darren Sharper being enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay. Sharper. Here we go. The many of you who have questioned Darren Sharper as a candidate for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2016, a few thoughts. These are the tweets from Peter King, at @SI_Peter King. Okay, the second one says, the 46 Hall of Fame voters are asked to consider only on-field factors for ex-players. That is what I do.